Yeah. And I think to add to that, Nick, I think it's very important to know that to find your purpose, you have to find you first,
Yeah,
right? Find your
100.
find your talents, find your
Mm-hmm.
abilities, the ways that you have those talents and abilities to, um, again, they're skills, right? How do you sharpen your skills? Find
Mm-hmm.
out what you don't like to do, find out what you do like to do, and then be able to I have the Pollard piece. I'll just say this: it's passion plus platform equals purpose, right?
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Infinite Ability Podcast. I am your host, Nick Yerhart, and we are here to encourage each other to find our own unique abilities. Let's go. All right, everyone. So today I have Dillon. I've been looking forward to this for a while. We talked a couple months ago, and we had a lot in common, a lot of common interests, and it was really cool. So, Dillon, can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, man. First of all, Nick, thanks for having me, bro. I'm excited
Of course.
to just be here. So a little bit about myself. Born and raised in North Alabama, place called Huntsville, and basketball background. Played high school, college, overseas in New Zealand and Puerto Rico. Got into business. Been in business about 7 years. Mostly sales. Did sales for door to door to inbound, outbound. Then did some high ticket remote sales for a guy named Pace Morby, where we took the company from pretty much ground level to around 5 reps to about 100 million in 3 years, 3 or 4 years. Now 50 reps, and that's one brand. So help with leadership development, culture training. Got passionate about culture training and leadership development, and life coaching side of things. So that's what I do now. I've been doing it about 2.5 years and love what I do. I serve people, help them grow personally so they can thrive professionally, and just love serving, dude. So it's kind of what I'm doing now. I've been married 6, almost 7 years with my beautiful bride, and we live here in Scottsdale, Arizona now. So a little bit of background, man.
Yeah, that's awesome. I know that you've done a lot, you've experienced a lot, and you took a lot of what you learned over the years to now you help your clients
That's right.
with that knowledge, which is something that's really important that a lot of us do. Is just you gotta go through the ropes yourself, and then you can take what you learned and I pass it on. So that's really awesome.
Yeah, it's taking that, what like you said, and overflowing it in others, right? It's not ours to take, it's ours to give.
Exactly. And I feel like it's my duty to help people. That's what I put you to do, so I'm gonna help as many people as I can.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's really awesome.
That's right.
So how do you spend most of your time?
Yeah, I mean, you kind of mentioned about like serving, helping people. I like to say my EEA, right? Empower, equip, and affirm. Empower you for what I see inside of you, equip you from, what you need to get from point A to point B, and then affirm you and hold you accountable through the process. So a lot of what I do centers around that. Whether I'm coaching, I'm, in my marriage, I'm, around friends. And of course, like I do, things on the day-to-day, it's a lot of fellowship, plugged into my local church here. So we do a young married life group, where we lead young married couples, and then plugged in the young adults ministry, where we serve, and I lead a young adults group, and help lead and facilitate that. Passion, living in one of the golf capitals of the world here in Scottsdale. Play a lot of golf. Doesn't mean I'm a golfer, but I play golf. Right? There's a big difference. So I do that, man. Off-roading, got a 4Runner, so love off-roading. And, I think on the business side, spending a ton of time connecting, networking, podcasts with amazing people like you, writing my book called the Built to Lead. So working on that, working towards that. That's been about a 7-year process of learning, growing, developing, sharpening my story, sharpening my message. How can I serve? How can I add the most value to people? and so I think inside of that, that's been a big focal point. I think like I'm a big adventurous guy. So like I said, forerunner, but also, we got lakes, water rafting, like all kinds of stuff here on the West Coast. So, big on events and masterminds. I've probably invested about 180 grand in the past, 3 or 4 years on my own personal development, so that I can be the most effective, most efficient, and most, equipped to serve others and overflow. So if I'm not learning and growing, I'm listening and learning, and serving people in the meantime, man.
That's awesome. Well, number one, the fact that you have a forerunner and you let you go off roading, I like that a lot. I've done the same thing. I used to have a side by side, so I go out on the trails all the time, go out mudding, all that fun stuff. So I love doing that. I also love going to the lakes. I grew up at the lake pretty much every weekend. So that's always a good time.
Yeah,
always a good time.
Yeah, enjoy the fullest, right? That's
exactly.
one of my philosophies, man. Is like I have the 5 F's. So it's faith, family, fitness, finances, and fuel. Fuel is what fuels the other 4, right? It's the passions, the hobbies, the activities that bring us fulfillment that align with what we do and who we're called to be, right? And have fun, have fulfillment, have adventure. So I mean, that's what fuels you, right? You have 10x life on your shirt. So to 10x your life, you have to have that fuel to fuel the other areas and aspects, man. So it's good.
Yep. And then, like you talked about, get out and network. Just connect with people, because you never know who you could work with, who could help you, who you could help. It's just, I've learned over the past year that networking is like the most powerful tool.
Yeah.
And, that's why I started this podcast, is to network more. So I think that's awesome.
Yeah.
And then I want to touch on something else that you said. And you talked about investing in yourself.
Yeah.
You've invested over $100,000 in the past 3 years. And, I resonate with that. I spent a lot of money on my own self-development and learning and all that. And I just wish more people would understand, investing in yourself is the best investment you can ever make.
Yeah.
It's not something you can lose.
Yeah.
This is one investment you cannot lose no matter what. Yeah. So go out there, invest in yourself, learn, and just invest in also having a good time. Because a lot of the things that I've done to invest into my self-development or learning, I also have a good time because, I meet new people. Yeah. I experience new things. And all those memories, you can't take that away.
That's right.
So, investing in yourself, that's amazing.
Yeah, bro. I'd rather invest in my skill sets, like you said, that last a lifetime than a sheet of paper that can get me 4 years of credibility for 180 grand, right?
Yep.
Nothing
exactly.
in college. It's just it was not for me as an entrepreneur, as a business owner, as a person who loves and values people and my skill sets. As I was a professional basketball player and played overseas and collegiately, I knew when I got into life and the ball ran out of the air, it was like, all right, I got to invest in myself. And that stemmed from, my mental health challenges, right? I playing ball and gained, 80 pounds or so. And, really, really downslope. But it came to investing in myself, right? My skill sets, not on the basketball side, but in the professional side, so that I could thrive in business, have the accountability, have the coaching, the knowledge. Just as I had a coach in basketball, I needed one in business.
Yeah, exactly. And I like that you brought that up because, I hear a lot of people say, oh, I don't need a life coach. I don't need a business coach.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, look at all the professional sports people out there. They all have a coach.
Yeah.
I believe everyone should have a coach.
Yeah.
At some point in their life, because coaching works. It helps. It gets you to where you want to go.
Yep.
And it also having a coach, now you have somebody who cares enough to hold you accountable and make sure that you're doing what you need to do.
That's right. That's right.
Mm-hmm.
1,000%. Bro.
Yeah, that's awesome. So I want to ask, if somebody walked up to you and said, "How can you help me?"
Yeah.
What would your answer be?
Yeah, I'd ask him back, what is your biggest challenge?
There you go. Ew.
What is your biggest challenge? And then from there, I assess my skill sets and how I can plug in to serve them the most, right? I'm not going to give them a huge long spiel of everything that I do, because in real estate, I'm in personal development, coaching, culture, leadership, and the list goes on. So it's more of what they need and how I can support and serve, not about me and what I have to offer. It's what they have, to gain from me as I help them learn and grow.
Yeah, I like how you put that. What problems are they having
Correct.
that you can solve?
Correct.
Because that's what we're doing. We're entrepreneurs. It doesn't matter really what you do. You're solving a problem.
Yeah. Impact is made when problems are solved.
Hey, yes, sir. Yep. I like that. So, what is something that you are, excited that is coming up in the near future?
Yeah, man. One thing I'm excited for, man, is the opportunity to share more of my story. I have a huge heart for people who struggle with mental health. Like I said, I was in a season of deep depression, even suicidal thoughts, anxiety, like a lot of that. And it came from a sense of darkness, not knowing my identity, right? And so if I can help people find their identity and who they are, not based on what they do, but how they, not based on what they do, but who they are, right? Their skill sets, their gifts, talents, abilities that can help them be the best version of themselves, so they can show up for their families, for their friends, and for their businesses. So I think like that identity piece in my story and identifying that has helped me unlock, not from the darkness, but how can I be the light in the darkness, right? Yeah. And so, from those pieces of what I've learned inside my identity is I want to overflow that in others and educate, right? The word educe, the word educate, if you break it down into educe, it means to draw out, right? I'm drawing out of you what I see inside of you so that I can empower you in that area, educate you on yourself so you know how to walk in confidence, walk in authority, and continue to grow. So speaking, coaching, podcasts, like those opportunities, getting around amazing people like you that have a huge influence, is what I'm trying to do, man. Not to share the message about me, but it's the message about, ultimately my faith in the Creator through me, who created me to be, me to the fullest, man. So, that's a little bit of what I'd say. Obviously the book, like helping that implement and be a value asset to those who are built to lead and who need to be instill that inside of them. So I'm excited about those speaking opportunities and things to come, and creating conferences. My wife was does masterminds events, conferences that she puts together as an event planner and a business owner in events and running events. So collaborating with her and sharing that not only with business owners but families and couples and marriages to impact them too.
Yep. That's incredible. I love how passionate you are about that. And I also went through a season of dark depression.
Yeah.
And, it was, I had a lot of suicidal thoughts. Yeah. And, one day I was just like, all right, something has to change.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what got me on the road to self development. I started to research and found books and podcasts. And one thing that helped me a lot is when I figured out my purpose. Like when I figured out that I had a purpose, that was, I'd say, the biggest moment in that journey, because if you don't have a purpose, it's so hard to get out of bed.
Yeah.
It's so hard to get the things done that you want to do.
Yeah.
It's so hard to even be around people because you don't feel good. So, one thing that I would like to say is if you're listening and you don't know your purpose, then every morning you should wake up with the intent to find your purpose that day. And just, figure out what you can do, figure out what you like to do, figure out how you can help others.
Yeah. I think to add to that, Nick, I think it's very important to know that to find your purpose, you have to find you first. Yeah. Right? Find your talents, find your abilities, the ways that you have those talents and abilities to, again, they're skills, right? How do you sharpen your skills, find out what you don't like to do, find out what you do like to do, and then be able to I have the Pollard piece. I'll just say this. It's, passion plus platform equals purpose, right? So it's passion is the things that fuel you, right? Platform is your voice, your way, your vehicle, your essentially your spot of genius, right? Or your place that you influence a lot of people in that platform. And then that equals your purpose when you add those together. So, it's again, it's not really like what you do, it's who you are and how you do it, is how you operate in that purpose, that fulfillment, that calling.
Yeah, exactly. So, I figure out who you are.
Yep.
That'll start the whole domino effect to a better life.
Correct. Self-awareness. What are my strengths? What are my weaknesses? What are the things that fuel me and things that drain me, right? And when you find that self-awareness based on, some of your past, right? I like to say your past doesn't define you. It fuels you in towards your future as you allow it to be the opportunity to define those things, analyze those things, have awareness of like, hey, this is where I went wrong, but this loss can be a lesson to propel me closer towards my future self. So.
Yep, exactly. Awesome. So, my slogan is your abilities are infinite. What does that mean to you?
Yeah, I think, abilities are infinite because, it just, I think of the phrase. So me as a man of faith, dude, like, I think like one thing God spoke to me directly is he said, are your dreams as big as I am? And if God created the heavens and the earth and my dreams aren't as big as he has, and he created me for a purpose and a reason, like I'm doing myself a disservice, right? So I have to think big, but know that I can't do it alone. So I've got to be collaborative, not competitive. I've got to, see the world from a bigger picture of impact, not pursuing the income. The impact will, produce the income. And so, I think like living at a high level, thinking at a high level, but then also stewarding what I can control, is where it starts, right? Like stewarding those skill sets, taking, step by step, not, there's two things, man without vision will perish, but, man can plan his ways, but God ordered his steps, right? So it's like that vision, but also the implementation of like the day-to-day, I don't like the word grind, but the day-to-day process of like the journey, right? You don't focus on the outcome, you focus on the journey to get to that outcome. And so it's a step-by-step process that you follow with the end in mind. And so, it's we're better together. It's not see you at the top. It's, hey, let's get to the top together and encourage each other, empower each other along the way. So I think with a community, I think with, connections, I think with collaboration, we're a lot better together, man. And so anything is possible if we surround ourselves with the right people, if we know ourselves and who we are and whose we are, and then we're able to find that vision and be able to execute along the way, step by step.
Yep. Man, that was amazing. Thank you so much for sharing that.
Is that how you would answer it?
No, I mean, mine's more simple. I look at it as like, for me, my physical limitations don't define me.
That's right, dude.
So therefore, if I put my mind to something, I can solve any problem. Therefore, my abilities are infinite because I will figure out a way to do whatever it is I want to do. So yeah, for me personally, it's more about finding a way to do things.
Yeah.
But I've asked this question 78 times now on this podcast. Every answer is different. Every answer is amazing, and I love hearing how people interpret into their own life. Yeah. And that's why I like that slogan so much, because it can mean anything to anyone. Yeah. So yeah.
It's good. Yeah. It's good, bro.
Thank you. So how can people reach out to you? How can they find you?
Yeah, Instagram is a great way. So I have a link tree on my Instagram profile page. So it's my Instagram is at DILLONPOLLARD _. I have my whole website, everything on there, ways to contact me, ways to connect, DM me on there, podcasts that I've done in the past. So and a podcast I'm creating, my book, it will be in there as well. So stay in touch, here to support and serve. Don't want anything from you, but everything for you, man. I'm not here to call you out, but call you up.
I like that. I'm not here to call you out, but to call you up. Yep. I like that. That's awesome. All right, you got any last words of wisdom?
Yeah, I think it's identify your identity and then pursue your purpose, right? I think, we are all called, and we have a calling. So identify that calling within us, identify that identity, and then be able to execute and pursue your purpose with a positive perspective. I think perspective is everything, man. If we see it from a faith lens versus a fear lens, anything is possible.
Yep, I agree. That's amazing. All right, man. This has been really great. Thank you so much.
My pleasure, Nick. Dude, you're doing the right thing. You're creating the right crowds. You're serving the right people, bro. Stay confident. Stay, as your saying says, bro. Confidence is the key to success. So stay you. The word beautiful, right? Be you to the fullest is the most beautiful person you could be, man. So grateful for the opportunity, Nick.
Awesome. Thank you. If you enjoyed this show, please go ahead and share it on your Instagram story and tag me in the Nick Yerhart. Also, go ahead and share it anywhere else that you see fit, because the only way that I can grow this is by you guys sharing it. I don't sell anything on here. I don't have any sponsors. So let's just get it out there by word of mouth and help more people. Alright, everyone. Remember, your abilities are infinite.